Adash says, hi Mehran, would you say marriage is the only way to long-term happiness? No, of course not. Why would it be? It's something that you've been conditioned to think that marriage is going to be bringing you the happiness that you could only get it through marriage. How could that be possible? Is happiness coming from outside of us? Is happiness is coming from through other people? Or happiness is something that we should create in ourselves? Considering the conditions of our lives is normal, you know, no disaster of some kind of this and that. So that is exactly why a relationship, marriage or not, doesn't work, because the two people who are starting that relationship are coming into the relationship hoping that the other side will bring them happiness. Instead of being happy each on their own before they actually come into a relationship, they come into the relationship hoping that the other side, through that relationship, the other person will bring happiness for them. But guess what? The other person is also in it to bring happiness to herself, to himself. You think she or he is there to make you happy, but she or he is there to make herself happy. And that's why you should never expect happiness to be the result of a relationship. You gotta find your happiness before you enter in a relationship. And a relationship would be a spice and some experience on its own, for its own. Not that the purpose of relationship would be for you to be happy. You know, you have to understand, happiness is the basics of life. Now, if you're saying how to be happy in a relationship, and if marriage is the only way to be happy in a relationship, marriage is the only kind of relationship that can guarantee happiness, that also is a different question, but the answer is also the same. No. No. Marriage is a conditioning that you have received, that you think. And you've been conditioned to think that sex, intimacy, will resolve everything that is going wrong in your life. You're trying to negotiate life, and you're trying to build your life. You're trying to bring success to your life through sex and through intimacy, through relationship. You're interpreting a relationship to be a shortcut to success, because you've seen at the other end that the people who are successful, supposedly, they have a healthy lifestyle, they have lots of money, and that represents to you success. And then they have a pretty girl. They marry to get a prettier girl because they have lots of money. So therefore, the pretty girl, a relationship with a pretty girl, is the notion of success. And for you, you want to do a shortcut in life. Instead of going and building something and becoming successful, you want to simply go get married to be considered successful in your own mind. Because after the monetary financial success, usually most men are hoping to have, because of their success, to be able to have a better chance to have a prettier girl as their girlfriend, as their wife. So the pretty girl represents the success. And now they want to do a shortcut, go after the pretty girl before they build anything in their life. So in order to convince themselves that I have become successful now, because now I have the pretty girl. And all of that is just a recipe for disaster. None of them is going to ensure the success of a relationship, because none of that has anything to do with how a relationship could go, because a good relationship has a lot to do with how you bond on consciousness level. The physical beauty and attraction between two people, you know, the girl is very pretty and the guy is handsome and he's got lots of money and the girl's got style and all. But you know, lots of them are around the world and most of them get divorced anyhow, regardless of their money and their looks. So what is it then? If it's not the money of the guy, if it's not the looks of the girl, or however you want to look at it, the girl's money and the guy's look, I don't know. Then if it's not that, then what is it that makes it not work? Or what is it that breaks it up? What is it that makes it successful then? If it's not the good looks of the girl and if it's not the so-called money and success of the boy. It's the fact that they don't bond on conscious level. They don't know each other. They know how they look. They know that all, you know, the disco and the restaurant and the travel and all that. But that's not that other person. That's interaction. That's enjoyment. That's pleasure. Everybody can enjoy. Everybody can sit pretty in the restaurant and eat well. Or everybody can enjoy something fun. But that doesn't mean that they have a good relationship now. Because the relationship is not within the pleasure that they create in the interaction of two people. The quality of the relationship is should be between the two consciousness. And if they don't spend any time to get to know each other's consciousness, to find out who they really are, beyond their physical appearance and material stuff that they have that has made them all blingy and, you know, sparkly, and from the far it looks like, oh, they have a wonderful life, this person because she's pretty, or that person because he's got lots of money or whatnot. But eventually, if they don't know each other, and what each other are made out of is their consciousness, their center, the me in there. Their combination of the relationship and interaction between their thoughts and consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, their center, their entirety, that is them. Are they having a relationship between that of this person and that of the other person, the me of each other? No. They're having a relationship between the images that they have of each other. He has an image of himself, and he has an image of the girl that he likes. The girl has an image of herself, and she has an image of the guy that she likes. And these two images are having a relationship. And that's why it almost always breaks down. Because the images don't know each other. They're not real, they're not actual, and they can't grow. So eventually at one point, and the images are what? Is what we use at one point in our day for what we're doing. Like if we're shopping, we have an image of a shopper. And if we're, you know, playing sport, we have an image of a sportsman. If you're teaching in a class, we have an image of a teacher. If you're in the class, we have an image of a student. If you're talking to our parents, we have an image of a, you know, a son or daughter. If we're talking to our children, we have an image of a friend or a father or a mother. And these images we dispose of depending on what we are doing at that moment in that day. And then we take another image because we are doing something else now. We need a different image. So these images are really not real. And these images are having interaction with each other in a relationship. So they can't grow. They're disposable. Nothing is built on them. That's why they don't know each other, the people who are having a relationship between their images, and most people do. Unless they get to know the center, their each other, the me of each other, which comes through actual, you know, interest to get to know each other, and each other's conditioning and so on and so forth. Unless they become aware of that, which that means they should become aware of that in themselves first, and on that same basis they can go and understand and become aware of their partner's center, and then they can see how they can bond. And that could bring them a certain kind of a relationship, that could bring them a certain kind of a elusive psychological security, which that could tend to bring a certain kind of a addition to the reasons that they could be satisfied and happy in their life. But the happiness itself should have been taken care of before the relationship, and they come into the relationship with that attitude of happiness and already content with their life, then try to build something, get to know each other on a consciousness level. And that's why you cannot say just because I get married, then everything is now should be good. On what basis? You got married. Many people get married. Marriage is an institution that was, for one reason or other, was introduced at one time. And it works for many people. But still, that by itself, just because you got married, doesn't mean you know each other. What keeps a relationship, brings happiness into a relationship, is if they know each other. To know each other is to know the entirety, the center of each other, the consciousness, the psyche of each other. And to do that, you got to first know your own psyche, how you're put together, what makes you tick. What is the relationship between thoughts and consciousness? What is the relationship between fear, desire, ego, how they're born, how they come about, how they interact with each other, how they affect you and make you feel, act, and react the way you do in your daily life. If you understand that, then you have a chance to understand your partner as well. And then on that basis, the two of you can be more compatible or compromising, or understand why you're acting the way you do or you're reacting the way you do. That will help a lot in success of that marriage or that relationship. Otherwise, the name marriage, the act of getting married, haha, so a bunch of people come and laugh and have food and all that. What was this supposed to be? It's all comes to if you guys know each other and have respect for your lives and who you are, what you're doing in this life, and do you know why you're here at all, which we talked about it last time. So, on that note, we get to a plug, which means go to my site and check out Me, My Psyche, and I. And click on the book, let it open, look at the table of contents, and read a sample chapter, and acquire that book. It's dirt cheap now. Have it in your library. Read it once in a while. They're small chapters. You will learn a lot about yourself. Having said that, now we move on after station identification to see what else we have here.